What's going on, everybody? Before I get into RAWtalk episode 157, Steven is not going to be on this week. His air conditioning went out yesterday. He had to have that fixed. He lost a bunch of hours of work, and that's why I am out here doing RAWtalk myself. So we won't have Steven to interrupt me this week. It's just going to be me going all about the RAWtalk, but I have a lot of things to talk about. We talked about Steven's air conditioning going out. I've got a recap of Book 2 audio that went up, talk about the boot camp. We've got YouTubers surprised to find that Google trained AI on their videos. We've got the James Blunt concert. I want to talk about that. And we've got picking up the big Bertha and the things that I went through when going to test that out on the field. But the biggest story of all this week is price increases from Canon and Nikon, which is terrible news for the photo industry. That is the biggest story that we did in, or that I did in Photo News Fix this week. And of course, there's a lot of comments one way or another about tariffs and that you need to collect money. And yeah, sure, go collect money from the corporations that are not paying taxes, and don't cut taxes when you need to raise money. When you need to raise money, what do? You either raise taxes or you don't do tax cuts if we're short on cash. But anyway, let's start by recapping book number 2 audio. The book 2 audio is officially out fully on YouTube. If you don't have the book, that's okay. You can go onto YouTube, or you can go to froknowsphoto.com/book2, where we have a video, a YouTube video that's like 5 hours and 18 minutes long that runs you through the book with my audio commentary and shows you the photos that are in the book. So yes, you don't have a physical copy to hold on to, but you can go through the entire thing. If you have Spotify, if you have iTunes, you can listen to the audio commentary. There are timestamps that Steven went through and meticulously put together so that you can jump around to a specific page. So if you want to go to page 67 and you see that that's at time X, you can jump to that time in YouTube or in the podcast, wherever you listen to your podcast, or you can download it natively as an MP3 and just listen to it any way that you see fit. So the audio is now available fully. If you want to pick up the book, go to froknowsphoto.com/book2, click on buy the book. There are options there. You can buy it as book only. You can buy it as what I guess is the total package, because it comes with a slipcase as well as a signed 13:9 print. And you could also, by popular demand, people asked for this, buy Bernie book and book 2 together in a package at the same time in the United States. Overseas shipping is probably going to be too much for 15 pounds. So if someone does purchase that, I might have to refund it or collect extra money for overseas shipping, because I don't control the overseas shipping. But yeah, if you want to pick up the book, you didn't get to the Kickstarter. Well, all the Kickstarter rewards where people sent me their addresses are fully out, and now it's available to the public at froknowsphoto.com/book2. So you can go ahead and purchase that and go through the audiobook while looking at the actual physical book at the same time. So I will promote the boot camp in just a second, but anyway, I'll do it. Saturday, August 16th, the second boot camp here in Philly of the year. If you want to attend that, it is bit.ly/frocamp816. FROCAMP 816. There are 18 total spots, 2 sold already when I put it up right away. So there's 16 spots available for the Saturday, August 16th, 2025 boot camp here in Philly. The first one sold out in roughly a week. So I expect this, or hope that this sells out as well, so that we can teach you, whether you're an amateur, an advanced amateur, someone who's making money already, but you want to learn from me, learn from my buddy Greg, who's a tremendous sports shooter, great in business, and also get a tour of the Fro Factory, because I know that's important for a lot of people. We have that happening. So again, bit.ly/frocamp816 if you want to sign up for that. So let's get into the first bit of discussion that I want to have with myself and you guys out there. There was an article that went up that was Reddit founder prompts ethical debate after sharing photo of his mom brought to life with AI. Now, I don't understand why that would be a problem at all. So Alexis Ohanian, the founder of Reddit, he's married to Serena Williams, I believe. Yes, he is married to Serena Williams. He went on X, or Twitter, this week to share an AI-generated video of himself and his mom from when he was a young boy, provoking debate and criticism. I'll just read this. This is the Petapixel article. In the emotional post, Ohanian explains that he lost his mom at a young age and has no videos of the two of them together. Damn, I wasn't ready for how this would feel, he wrote, and he watched it like 50 times. Well, the first time I read this, I didn't realize that he lost his mother at a young age. He made the video with the help of Midjourney, which has just rolled out its first AI video generator model, allowing users to animate a still image. And he says, I dropped one of my favorite photos of us in Midjourney as starting frame for an AI video, and wow, this is how she hugged me. I've rewatched it 50 times. It is, wow. I just read that for the first, I didn't read. This is what's wrong with me sometimes, is I get part of the story and not all of it. I didn't realize that he lost his mom at a young age. I thought he was just making a video of his mom when he was younger, but I didn't realize that he lost her. It's incredible. I mean, this is incredible. It's an animated video. What is wrong with that? I have absolutely nothing wrong with that. So he dropped one. Okay, so somebody wrote, cognitive security rule 1, do not do this. The platform formerly known as Twitter has a cynical user base, and people were quick to criticize the technology for its ability to create false memories. They're outsourcing their memories to machines, writes Matt Asshole. Replace your real memories with fake memories for only $19.99 a month, adds Bobby. Well, fuck you, Bobby. Some compared it to the mirror of Erised from I don't know Harry Potter, from the first Harry Potter film, The Sorcerer's Stone, which Harry gets lost in looking at an image of his two deceased parents standing next to him. Be careful with this. Human memories are very malleable, and you'll remember what the AI shows you, whether it's true or not, Elizabeth Green fuckhead writes beneath his post. Bringing back the dead from AI. The technology employs Midjourney is nothing new. In fact, the company is actually quite a way behind in its competitors last year. Whatever. Why? What is wrong with this? He lost his mother at a young age. He longs to see, it was before he had a camcorder, and he longs to see the two of them together. And she's embracing him. That's not a false memory. That is something like he's an adult. He knows the image and how she hugged him. And he put that into the Midjourney and he created a moving clip. When I saw that, I'm like, I want to do that for my mom. Like maybe I have my niece and nephew sitting there and there's a video of my mom and I'm going to fucking cry again. Or maybe it's like, if I ever got married, I'd AI her walking me down the aisle. Because that's one of the things that I don't care about getting married. Like that's not a thing. But I more think about it about the first dance. Not the first dance. The groom and mother dance. Because every time I was shooting a wedding after my mom died and that part came up, I got really fucking sad. I got really sad every time I saw, not like in a bad way, but I got disappointed that I would watch the groom and his mom dance, and then I'd be sitting there going, well, that's not going to happen for me. Not married part. I don't care about weddings and I don't care about getting married, but just that, not being there for certain things. And I can totally see that being a good thing for someone to bring a memory alive of like a parent who didn't get to see their grandchild and they get a video of whatever would happen. So what if it's a false memory? Who cares? We have emotions. I'm not going to see that and be like, oh, that is a false memory and then start to equate that with what actually happened. It's wishful thinking. It's fantasy. And I don't mean to bring up like porn right after that, but isn't that what porn is? It's a false reality. And you know how many people are going to start digitizing themselves and putting themselves into the porn that's a false memory with people? They're going to do it. AI porn is right there. I'm not sorry, actually. I'm not sorry to go that direction after talking about almost crying or crying about my mom and all of that. But That's the facts. It's a huge industry. It's a huge business. But for people on the internet to be little bitches and get upset that this guy used AI to bring his mother to life to give him a hug from a photo, you all can go fuck yourself, you little fucking pansy bitches. But no, seriously, people are a bunch of little bitches today. Like, fuck off. You worry about you. I worry about me. And this is why I'm trying to distance myself from reading social media, from commenting on social. I actually have really cut down on commenting. I don't. It's just a cesspool, and it just rage baits, and it just gets you even more pissed off time and time again. The more you comment and the more you do dumb bullshit on social media. So I have absolutely no problem whatsoever with this happening. I don't. I think it for loved ones to bring them up. Like, imagine animating someone from 200 years ago. I mean, they're doing it now. It's like, you want to hear what George Washington had to say? People do it. Are people going to think that there was video from 1776 and the signing of the Declaration of Independence? Yeah, people are going to start to get confused, but as long as we stay educated and informed, which is hard to do when you're book burning and cutting out books and history, then it is what it is. I just hope that doesn't happen. But this was incredible. The fact, I have absolutely no issue with this. And in fact, I just signed up for ChatGPT monthly right now, because before RAWtalk, me recording this, I was just playing around making, well, should I tell you, like, I don't know if it's a date for Sunday. Like, I'm a sappy fuck, right? I don't know if it's a date, whatever. I met this person and I was like, we should go shoot, like interested. She's in photography. She's been in front of cameras before. She hasn't really been behind them. And I was like, whatever, got her information and sent her some of my stuff because she wanted to see it. And she was really thoughtful in her reply to me, which is, I think, unlike someone who's slightly younger. And by slightly younger, I mean a little bit younger. And I don't know, it was pretty cool. I was like, you want to go on a photo adventure on this, you want to go on a photo adventure? I just left it at that. And she's like, yeah, I'm down. She's like, I'm off this date and this date. I was like, all right, let's do Sunday. So then I'm like, okay, well, why don't I make like a card to give to her? Cause I'm going to see her today because she works at a place I like. And I just had an idea. I'm like, I don't know. That's what I want to do. So I went to ChatGPT. Oh, let me read you the prompt. Yeah. Why don't I just read you the prompt that I used? Let's see. Make a 4x6 ticket. So at first I thought it'd be like a ticket to admit one, with an illustrated graphic of Philadelphia that's colorful as a background, with the text that says "Adventure awaits" in the style of Up the movie. Be sure to include one male Carl from Up and one female Ellie from Up, both holding a camera and smiling. And so then I was like, it produced it, and I was like, holy fuck, that is incredible. And then I was like, I forgot the date. Why don't I put the date on it? So then I had it put the date on it, and it redid it, and it looks amazing. Incredible. I was like, wow, with that prompt. So that was good. And I was like, you know what? If I could make a poster, because I'm going to give this person that card, so it's kind of like a invitation for the not date thing. And then I was like, well, why don't I make one for Frono's Photo Boot Camp that's happening on Saturday, August 16th, 2025. So I prompt it the first time, and it's really cool. So I go, create a promotional poster for a Frono's Photo Boot Camp. And I'm going to post these Frono's Photo ones on Instagram, so you can check it out. They'll be up by the time this is out, so you can swipe through and see the ones that it created along with the prompt. Create a promotional poster for Frono's Photo for a Frono's Photo Boot Camp with an illustrated graphic of Philadelphia that is colorful as a background, with text that says Saturday, August 16th, 2025 in Philadelphia, with a graphic of Jared Polin of Frono's Photo holding a camera with an inviting smile. So it got Saturday, August. It's beautiful. It's great. It's me. It's smiling. Does it look like me? Oh, it's close. It's got the fro. It's got the beard. It's got a beautiful, awesome skyline background, but my arms are too small, and I forgot to say I shoot Raw's shirt. So I said the overall image is very good. Please make the main subject's biceps much larger. Change the color and font of Saturday, August 16th, 2025 to make it stand out more, and be easier to read. So it got my biceps right. It kept everything the same, except it added an extra A to August. So I was like, well, August is spelled wrong. Please correct that. And it failed to, I don't know, it ran into a roadblock when I told it to add I shoot raw as well. So it failed. So I stopped doing that and I started the prompt again. And so I did it again, and this time it came up with a different background because I said I shoot raw shirt, and you'll see when you look at it on my Instagram, and I'm holding a shirt, my camera, there's a Liberty Bell, the art museum's in the back. My biceps aren't big enough, so I ask it to do my biceps again, and holy shit, did it turn it into a steroided out, really bad. I mean, I'm holding the camera really cool, though. I'm going to post that too, but that is a really bad one. You'll see it. It looks like it's a psychotic I keep wanting to say LCD trip, but it's LSD trip. So that one wasn't good. So I reprompt again, and this time it did it. I got the prompts better right off the bat. I shoot raw. I'm flexing an arm. It's cool. You'll see all of these on there. But the moral of the story is this is super helpful for me. This is really unique and interesting for creatives. And it's terrible for illustrators and designers because I know JP Flexner, who designed my original I Shoot Raw logo, is going to be very upset. Well, I had him on years ago, a year or two ago, when this was just starting to take off with image generators, because we know that it's trolled illustrators' work. We know that it's trolled my work. We know that it's trolled like the history of works to create stuff. But I wasn't going to pay an illustrator $500 and take 2 weeks to come up with a poster for Frono's Photo Bootcamp. I just came up with the idea, and 2 seconds later, I have something that is good enough. Now, when you start running into issues where you prompt it and it doesn't give you what you want, and you reprompt it and it doesn't give you what you want, I also need to turn around and ask the AI, what could I do to prompt you better? Let me ask this, what could I do to create a better illustration? Nope. What could I do to create a better? What could I do? I got to redo this. Let's see. How could I prompt you to get better results for creating an image like this? Period. So I'm going to see what the AI, let's see. To get the best results for creating a promotional image like this, you can provide a detailed and clear prompt. Here's a breakdown of key elements you can include for improvement. Specific background details. Specifically, the type of illustration, e.g. colorful, vibrant, detailed. Ooh, I got that right. Mention specific landmarks in the background, e.g. Liberty Bell, Independence Hall, which I didn't even mention, but it did it. Describe the city's atmosphere you want, e.g. energetic, bustling streets, sunset. And then it says character details. Be specific about the pose and appearance of the subject, e.g. Jared Polin smiling and flexing, holding a camera with large biceps. Mention key features like shirt, e.g. I shoot raw on t-shirt. It did that. Include any specific physical details or characteristic designs, e.g. hair, expression, height. Well, it got my hair right. It didn't get my penis right, though. I think that would break the rules. Text details. Specify the font style and size for the font, e.g. bold, uppercase, sans serif. Mention text placement, e.g. title at the top. This is all good stuff. Color and lighting. Wow. Additional elements. Oh my God. Any additional props like street signs or vehicles can add to the authenticity of the city scene. Detail on the camera, e.g. DSLR or mirrorless. Any specific lens or camera gear. I can get even that more detail. So here's an example prompt. I'll reprompt it this way. Create a vibrant and detailed illustration of Philadelphia with iconic landmarks like the Liberty Bell and Independence Hall in the background. The scene should be energetic with a sunset lighting effect. The foreground features a cartoon character of Jared Polin from Frono's Photo, smiling, flexing large biceps, and holding a DSLR camera. I'm going to change that to mirrorless Canon camera. He's wearing a purple Wow, I didn't tell it to wear a purple shirt. Purple I Shoot Raw shirt with his curly hair and beard clearly visible. The text should read, Frono's Photo Bootcamp, Saturday, August 16, 2025 in Philadelphia in bold capital letters on the top. Use a bright and colorful palette with clean lines and make the image eye-catching and dynamic. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to do this, but I'm going to edit it slightly. Let's see. So what did I want it to do? I'm going to enter slightly let's see, mirrorless Canon camera with a Canon 28 to 70 f2 lens. And then I want to change not curly hair, afro hair in capital letters and be clearly visible. And I'm going to go ahead and hit prompt. Oh, I forgot to change it to make it an image. Well, it's doing it anyway. So you could do this for free. You can prompt it like 4 times, I think, for images, and it's going to go slower. But when you pay for it, it's going to use more bandwidth and it's going to move much quicker. So I have it loading right now. We'll come back to it in a minute because I want to move on to the next thing that is AI related, where YouTubers are surprised. This is the title. YouTubers surprised that Google uses their videos to train AI models in the VO3 model that they're using. They put out a video of like street interviews, think Hawk Tuah Girl, but not Hawk Tuah Girl, where they're asking questions and they're putting out booth tours at car shows. They're putting out the question man on the street stuff. I've been seeing so many AI videos on Instagram that are like, one was a family goes into a McDonald's, the father and the 2 kids, and then the woman is overweight, and the father goes, I'd like 4 cheeseburgers, 2 drinks, and 2 orders of fries. And the attendant goes, and your wife would like? And it was just like, and it's AI. I'm trying not to watch those because I don't want to just be fed fake stuff like that. I know this is a dance, and especially with what I said earlier about personally having my mom brought back to life with AI, that's a personal thing. But all of these jokes and memes that are being played out now because these AI models are so good, I'm trying not to watch it. There's news anchors now where you can create it and you can just have it report news on a fake news story. The one is that Donald Trump replaced the Rose Garden with a skate park, and then it's showing him skateboarding. The fact that this stuff is being able to be created is insane in a good way, and it's insane in a bad way, because what's going to happen over time, and we're already there, is it's going to be misleading. We're already seeing it, that you can create anything. Someone's going to be able to create me and prompt it to do something. You can write a whole script. You can prompt the AI to do a demonstration for a photo shoot, to create let's see, I could create a concert in AI, and I can create an AI Jared photographer to be in the pit, and we can create this whole thing. So I could say, create a sequence video for a concert. Here's the stage lighting I would like. Strong back LED lighting, front light wash in white, in the photo pit with a Canon mirrorless camera, a 51.2 angle, capture images. It's going to start to do it. You're still not replacing us in reality, which is why I think sports and live events are going to continue to be popular, because people are going to long and yearn for things that they don't know what's going to happen. And that's why sports are watched, because it's time and date. You have to watch it. You have to be there to enjoy, to see it, whether it's TV or in person, but it's not something you already know the outcome of. You have to watch it and be in on it, and that's why people get so high and so low with the agony of defeat, but the thrill of victory on the other side, because it's real. And we long for real at this point. So let's see what the ChatGPT, wow. Frono's Photo Bootcamp, Saturday, August 16th, 2025 in Philadelphia. It got the I Shoot Raw shirt perfect. My biceps are a little large. My grin is a little over the top, but I'm going to reprompt. Oh my God, I have a Canon in my, I didn't tell it what Canon, but holy shit, that looks awesome. And the background looks great for Philadelphia, and the Liberty Bell's out on a sidewalk, which is exactly how I found the Liberty Bell when I bought it. I have a movie prop Liberty Bell. It doesn't look so much like me. I'm going to ask it to make my fro larger and smile less, because I don't smile, just so you know. I'm not a big smiler. But I'll post all of those up on Instagram so you can see them all, and I can talk about it. But so for YouTubers to be surprised that Google trained the AI with our videos is, I don't know, not revelationary right? I don't think it's that. I'm not going to say it's not that big of a deal, but I'm sure in the terms of services somewhere, we've given Google the ability to crawl our data. In fact, our data is already being crawled. YouTube is already doing voice dubbing. It's coming to everybody. I've had dubbing for like 2 years where I had to prompt it to dub. It will then now take my English speaking language, take the audio from that, take the transcript that it automatically created, and turn that into other languages. So you'll be able to watch my video in Spanish. You'll be able to watch my video in Portuguese Spanish. Maybe you'll watch it in Italian or in Japanese or hopefully in Hindi. I want to say Indian, but I don't think Indian is a language. What language do they speak in India? I think it's Hindi, right? What language speak India? Indian multilanguage, Hindi being the most widely spoken language, followed by Bengali, Marathi, and Telugu. Thank you. Come again. Hey, we can't edit that out because Steven's not here. But yeah, so at least I got that right. It's Hindi. So it will be able to translate it and then put up that audio dubbing, making it beneficial to people around the world. So that is going to be amazing because India is such a huge market. I have people that listen in India, but if I can get people in their native language, I mean, this is how Mr. Beast exploded globally. If you didn't know, Mr. Beast in the past had like 80 different channels or however many he had. So he had a Mr. Beast English, Mr. Beast French, Mr. Beast Chinese, Mr. Beast Japanese, Mr. Beast Italian. He had all of these languages and he had voice actors in these countries that would dub them and then they would put them up. But then what happened is YouTube made a slight change. This was when Mr. Beast would get like 20 million views on a video because he was just getting English-speaking people there. What does he do for Canadian? Oh, hello, hey, it's Mr. Beast, hey? And I'm here to, we're here to give away some money and be nice and stuff. So thank you very much for watching, eh? And so that's Mr. Beast. Anyway, so what happened is YouTube then gave the option that you can upload the dubbed audio onto one single video. So then people all over the world, they can have a default language turn on if the dubbing is available or select the one they want. That is when you started to see 50, 60, 80, 100 million views, 200 million views on Mr. Beast videos is now it's one video that the entire world can consume. It doesn't have to be on multiple channels. So that is something that hopefully is a benefit to someone like me that can reach a Spanish-speaking audience, a Chinese-speaking audience, hopefully, because that's a huge market. A Hindi-speaking audience, that would be a huge market. I still occasionally hear something from Gary Vee, and this is relevant to this discussion. He throws a lot of stuff out there, and one of the latest things that he threw out there is corporations creating AI influencers, which it's already starting to happen. There was a movie called Simone. It was Sim 1, I believe, and Al Pacino was in it, and they had a hologram that they created. It wasn't a real person, and then they thought that he murdered her and got arrested, but it wasn't a real person because it was made up. We're coming up to that now, where we're going to have influencers that someone is going to sit there and prompt a makeup tutorial influencer, and that they are, whether it's a male or female, are going to show you how to put on makeup, and they're going to show you how to do this, and then they're going to try and sell you stuff. So why wouldn't Maybelline or whoever, I don't know, the makers of makeup, start to create their own influencers and try to get them to grow? Now that's inauthentic, but we are in a transitional period, a turning point, something that is different than anything that's come before it. So I can't tell you how kids and younger people and adults alike are going to react and interact with a AI influencer. Something that isn't real. Something that is gallivanting is real and is being prompted and is searching the history of all humankind and has all of that at their disposal to make interesting videos. Will I be able to make educational? No, what I'll tell you is whenever I get onto YouTube and there's a video that is clearly AI with an AI voice, and I click off of it. I do not want the algorithm to feed me anything that has to do with unrealistic, fake AI represented videos and content. I don't want it because it's not good information. And you see all these people on Instagram like, I make $10,000 a month just by using ChatGPT and then prompting this with notes to turn it into videos that I put up on YouTube. And it's just, yeah, maybe it will generate money now. I will not watch those videos. That's something like my dad would watch thinking that it's real. But you don't know that the information is vetted. It's just pulled straight from the AI. And that doesn't mean that it's grabbing from models where it's knowledgeable. So it's spreading information. We are in an era of misinformation and disinformation, which you can go back to the 1700s, and the same thing applied when there were propaganda newspapers. When, let's say, there was a presidential election, they might be like, "This guy fucked his cow." I don't know how you fuck a cow. Maybe you got to get like up on like a stool or something. But it's just like John Adams fucks a goose, and it's like, oh my God, did you hear? John Adams fucks geese, and it's like, oh, it's true because it was right here in the centennial blah blah blah, right? So it's not like it's something we haven't faced again. It's just at a different scale and a different level. So it's something that is worrisome. Look, if YouTube trolled my videos, so be it. This is how I've made a living. I've made a living thanks to YouTube and Google giving me the ability to reach people who sit here and listen to this and watch my content. So to have that ability, yeah, fine, whatever. It's the cost of doing business for me. Like MKBHD did one of the videos and he's like, it kind of looks like my own video because it put in this desk and this specific lamp looks very familiar to his setup. So you're going to be able to train it and say, create a, Frono's Photo Studio set for a video where the background is this. Let's say it's a mid-century modern background with a purple Eames lounge chair with a white shell and purple fabric that Jared Polin, Frono's Photo, is sitting on while talking and holding a Canon R7 and teaching people how to use the camera. And then you can feed it this script, and then it will turn that script into an informational, educational video that might even be able to cut in the menu system from the camera and show as I'm doing. So it's like a user guide, which take us like 4 hours to produce. But they're great videos. So think about that. That's incredible. That's a lot of work, but hey, we're getting there. All right, let's move on now. Let's move on to the James Blunt concert, which I had all access to. I've known James Blunt. I photographed him like 8 or 9 years ago, and I used one of my connections, who was the reason I met James in the first place, to reach out and remind James that I'm in Philly and I'd love to come and photograph. Didn't ask for anything. All I asked for was the all-access pass, and I'll give him the pictures. I don't care. Because I just want to get behind the scenes, and I want to do shooting. I love shooting. And so that was part of my talk at Build, was to... which we'll probably put up the audio here at some point, because when we get the better audio and Steven can, or we get the audio and Steven can like do his magic on it, we'll put it up. But part of that talk, I talked about connections and 6 degrees and how I can get to almost anybody in 2 phone calls, right? It's not hard. I know someone who probably knows someone who can get me in touch with the person. And so I went to the James Blunt show. I got an all-access pass, was waiting for me right where they said it would be. I went in, I went upstairs to the dressing room, found James. He's like, hey, how's it going? Let me go over the set list with you. He takes the set list and he takes a pen and he's telling me, this is what I do during this song. I'm using the guitar here. I get on the piano for this. This is when all the room lights come on and everybody holds up their phones with the lights. So be ready to do that. I was like, this is great. So he's personally giving me all this information. One of the things that helped tremendously during the show is the variable shutter speed auto detecting feature. More and more cameras are starting to get this. Now, this doesn't affect the Sony A9 III as much, though you still might get flickering because of the nature of the lights, but you might catch images where you take a picture and it doesn't get the picture because it caught it in between the flicker. But whatever, because that's a global shutter. But with the, I think the R5 Mark II should have it. The R1 has it. I think the Z9 might have it. More and more cameras are going to get this. It's really for extreme situations like concerts. So I'm shooting the concert and I'm like, too fast of a shutter speed, and you see all the flickering in the background. That's not good. The lights have this these lines that show up. So to get over that, you go in there and you can turn on the anti-flicker mode, but there is one for auto detecting feature for variable shutter speed. And what happens is you click this button and it says, all right, hold the camera still, point it at the flickering lights, which I do at the stage. I hit the OK button. It does its scanning thing. And then a second later, it goes, do you want to set the shutter speed to 1/490.7 of a second? I was like, yeah. And then as soon as you do that, that is the shutter speed that matches the banding, and you will no longer get the banding. And what's also cool is it's harder now to change the shutter speed, but what I end up doing is riding the ISO. I change the ISO higher or lower depending on the light changing, because that is the right shutter speed and the right flicker variable shutter speed. So I stick to that. That feature helped me so much and will be super helpful for a lot of people as it becomes more introduced into cameras. So what did I shoot with? I took the Canon R1, 28-70 f2, 10-20 f4. I took the 85-1.2, which I only used sparingly, and I took the 70-200, which I used never. So ideally, it was a 28-70 f2. I put the 85 in the bag just in case, and I wanted a 10-20 f4 for if I was in a tight situation or I needed a wide angle, which I knew that James would be doing a wide shot on stage with everybody holding their lights up, and I thought that I would use a 10-20 millimeter lens. And what I did during that, when I knew he was going to go out to that area, I ran onto the stage right up against the drum riser. So yeah, I'm seeing definitely, but I'm trying to get an awesome shot. Well, I started with a 28-70 and it just wasn't wide enough. It doesn't give you the same look. It's a beautiful lens, favorite lens to use out there, but I didn't have the entire background. I didn't have the look that I wanted. So I ran off stage, lights were still shining. I grabbed the 10-20 and I went back on stage and I banged out a bunch of shots at 10 millimeters and 15 millimeters or just whatever ended up looking right. And those shots look incredible. I posted those on Instagram so you can see it's color or black and white. It was for you to decide. I think the color in this case was better. I would like Canon to come out with I don't care if it's 10 millimeters, but I would like something that's like an 11-20 f2. It could be an 11-18 f2. I don't care. It could be 14. It could be 12-20 f2, 12-16 f2. I don't care. I want that range. I don't really need much more. And so I don't really need much more there, but I want the f2, not because of being able to let in more light. That is helpful. And not because like f2 is going to blow out the background, because with the wider lenses, it's not that easy. It's not going to happen as much unless you're super close to the subject. But for the fact that that glass is cleaner, sharper, more colorful, gives you more of a zhush, gives you more of a punch. And that's why I'd want to use something like that. Give me a 10-18 f2. Give me a fucking 10-18 1.2. I don't care. Whatever they come up with, I would like to see something more unique, because I miss the 14-24 2.8 was like a mainstay for me on Nikon. Sony has a 12-24 2.8. It's kind of awkward at 12. It's kind of got a weird lens correction going on, but at least they give you that, and it's a 2.8. So it can be done, but the 10-20 f4 is a smaller lens. I don't care so much about the size. That's what she said. But I care more about getting the image. And so I want something that just has a little bit more zhush to it. And so that's why but where that lens came in handy at 10 millimeters was in the elevator. Now, there is this really cool, as you go down the stairs at the Met in Philly, there's an arrow that points and it says stage, stage with an arrow pointing like a 1960s designed arrow that's big with a hand that points. And I wanted to get James walking there with his guitar down the steps. I got the opening act, this guy Forrest Black. I got him going down the stairs there, which was a great shot. And then then James, his tour manager, said, we're taking the elevator down, which was right there by the dressing room. So the fourth floor to the first floor, which is kind of risky when you're about to go on. What if the elevator stops working and we're all in the elevator? That wouldn't be good. So I get in the elevator, I got the 10-20 on, and I take a bunch of pictures. And when I get them back to the computer, it's like, they're fine. The lens correction is on, which stretches out the bowing. Lenses are being designed that way anyway, with lens correction in mind. But I turned lens correction off because I could see the down arrow from floor 4 where I couldn't see it with the lens correction on. And I think as part of the photo story, the story inside of the story is what is important in this image. So I have 2 of them, and I'm going to probably make a YouTube video about this, where so the whole band is in the elevator. I'm in the back corner with my back against the wall because the corner is the best place to be. You've got 1 member to the left of me, James to the right of me, and 1 in the middle, and then 1 in the front right. And the tour manager stepping on. So he's stepping on. That signifies we are going to be going down. We're not going, well, that's signifying he's coming on as the door is going to close. The 4 with the arrow pointing down is showing that we are going down to the stage. So all of those things together help tell a better story than if you didn't see the down arrow. Because then you would be like, are we going up? Are we going down? And this way it is, we are going to do the show. And at the end of the show, I was in the elevator, but I used a 28 to 70, so it's just tighter and you really don't get much of the atmosphere, which is why Canon's 14 to 30 is a nice lens. It's an f4, but the 15 to 35, which should have been a 14 to 24 or a 14 to 30, would have absolutely been a better angle and what would have been a better choice for them to do, in my opinion. But the 15 to 35 is great. It's just I don't want all the way up to 35, right? I just want the 15. Right there, or wider, or 14. That would be great. A little zoom helps in certain situations, but that's what I ended up using in the elevator. So that was, it's a cool shot. So yeah, I'm going to make a video about the James Blunt photos and just give you some things I like, some things I don't like, and try to give some tips and tricks just for getting a look at behind the scenes of my images. With the Canon, I can't record the EVF, unfortunately, and still have my EVF to shoot. And I actually said this at Build, and I hope that the people were listening from Canon to unlock that ability because it helps me teach. It's something that I think many photographers would use if they could create a box also, or someone could create a box. It plugs into the HDMI. It doesn't need to do much now. It needs to be programmed to do this. It needs to be just set. And yeah, you can actually change it in an app maybe, or you plug it into the computer and you can change it. But all I wanted to do is record my EVF at 1080, right? In just regular resolution. It doesn't need to be ProRes or anything. It needs to be just good enough, like really good. It would be awesome if it could record audio, but it plugs into the HDMI and has onboard storage, whether it could have just flash memory. It could have, if it has like 512 of onboard storage, that is like an infinite amount based off of the size of the files. I want to record the EVF for every shoot that I do. And I think that news shooters would love to do that. I think the news magazine, not news magazines, but the Gettys, think of when Trump was the assassination attempt. There's some footage from the one guy's jabbing, his name's Jabbin, his glasses, he had the meta glasses on and he hit record. And so you saw it first person. But if you can get all of the recording directly through the camera, that's going to be awesome for the documentation that you're doing. It's going to be great for recording every shoot that you have for learning purposes, for educational purposes, but just to have first person perspective. We had it with the Bernie documentary but it didn't show all of it gave it a clean out. I want a dirty out, I want the option. Give me clean, give me dirty. Dirty means that it's going to show the focusing points, going to show all of the settings. I prefer a dirty out. I think it gives more perspective that we are taking you inside of a camera. I think that's even better. All right, moving on. I took Big Bertha out to the stadium. If you don't know what Big Bertha is, Google Big Bertha camera, and you're going to find that these cameras were sometimes 40 inches long, 1,000 millimeter. They weigh a ton. You're going to read that it says 120-pound camera. It's not a 120-pound camera. I have one now. It's a 35 or 36-pound camera. And then when you put it into the box that I use, it's another 30 pounds on top of that. And so that is 68 pounds roughly in the box. So the Big Bertha was from a time period where they didn't have like large format lenses yet. And these became they would take these lenses and they would retrofit them and build them onto these Graflex home portrait cameras. Now they're 5x7 cameras. So the negative is 5x7. I have a visual that I'm working on right now where I take a 5x7 sheet of paper, print, I also have negative, and then I tape in the bottom corner, the bottom right corner, a 4x5 negative. Then I tape on top of the 4x5 negative, a 120 negative. And then on top of the 120 negative, I tape a 35 millimeter negative. And then next after that, I need to put there something the size of what an iPhone sensor is. And I want people to understand the vastness of a full frame sensor versus iPhone, but then also the vastness of what 5x7 is. I took to ChatGPT to say, how much area does, how many 35 millimeter frames could you get to fill one 5x7 negative? And it's 26.2 is what it came up with. So it did all the math. I typed it into the ChatGPT again, and it did the math, and it was like, it took 5x7, took 35 millimeter, the 24 by 35 centimeters or millimeters, and it did the math, and it did it squared, and it's 26.2 times the area. Think about the croppability as an anti-cropper, but think about the croppability of having 26 more times a 35 millimeter. Think about you cropping 35, a full frame image. Now think about if you had the same, like a person that was a really long way away, and they took up 1/26th of the frame of 5x7, and then you cropped in to just that one portion that had that subject in there, that would give you probably the same quality as the 35 millimeter, if not better. Now it might not be better, because if you're shooting 400 speed film, you got to think about the grain. But this is why if you had a 5x7 digital back, it'd be super expensive. But imagine what you could create with that. Imagine if I could take a big Bertha or any modern camera and put a 5x7 digital back on it. It would be insane. So I took it out to the field because I didn't have film, and I took it out just to, one, be seen, two, to get a visual to see if the focus that we set was right, because there was some work that we needed to do, me and the guy from Retro Camera Reading, that we needed to do to fix the lever to pull the focus further. Like, it's still not pulling it. I don't know if I can get infinite focus. We would have to move the arm a little bit more to allow me to get infinite focus. We're gonna have to play with it, because I'm going to be like 450 feet away in direct center field photographing. I need to be able to focus at a distance. So today at the studio, I'm actually going to be running through the process of we're going to be testing it out, putting a negative into the camera, testing out the shutter speeds, and then developing the negative to make sure everything works before I go out and shoot a game. So when I went out onto the field, it made a huge impression with players and commentators, and everybody alike wanted to know, what the hell is this? I mean, no one has a big Bertha and takes it out to the field. It's just such a showstopper. I don't know, will I get great images? I don't know. But I feel really confident with the camera. Why? Because it's an SLR. Whereas my 4x5 Graflex is not an SLR. I have to look through the background glass of it, and then I wind the shutter and I lose the look of the camera, and I have to slide the negative in, and then I have to take the picture. Here, you can watch what you're shooting the whole time. So when you go in and you hit the shutter, the mirror flips up, the shutter comes down and exposes the film, and then you pull the mirror back down to lock it into place. It's incredible that I can follow and see right in front of me what's happening. So that's awesome. Anyway, 5x7 negatives are huge. Let me get into the last thing to talk about here. It's the price increases from Canon and Nikon. This is the big story. Canon's prices went up. Now, they're a little hard to determine how much they went up, because Canon PR, their take is, well, we had instant rebates on, and now the instant rebates are off. But when you see a camera that's like the R3 that had an instant rebate of like $1,200, or instant discount, to it was $39.99, go up to $5,300 or $53.99, whatever it is, that is asinine. And you can't just say, well, the instant rebates are off, and so we didn't really raise the prices that much because of tariffs. But it's just harder to note. Nikon, on the other hand, raised them anywhere from like 7% up to 58% or something like that. They went up a lot for Chinese-made lenses. And that's a lot of their stuff. Canon's R5 Mark II went back to its launch price of $42.99. It was a couple $100 off. The R6 Mark II gets more expensive. Like, these cameras are getting more expensive. And the reason this is terrible news for the photo industry is, well, it's terrible news for everybody, as I said in Photo News Fix, for no matter the photo industry or anything, because prices going up, we are going to feel the pain right around now. It takes 3 to 6 months for the tariffs really to kick in, to feel it, to have it trickle down to the consumers. Everything will get more expensive, and it's probably going to stay more expensive even if the tariffs move and get taken off, because once prices go high, most people never change them again. We're still looking at fuel surcharges from FedEx and UPS from the 2007 era. They're like, oh, gas went up, we got to charge a surcharge. They never took the surcharges off. Fuel charge. What do you mean fucking fuel charge? It's the cost of doing business. Build it into the price. Aggregate it, fuckheads. So it's a hard time to be a consumer in the photo world, and it's a hard time to be a business owner in the photo world, because Allen's Camera has to raise their prices. And if less people are going to buy because they're going to take a wait and see attitude to see when the tariffs will come off, will they lower their prices? Should they wait to buy something? Or what if prices go higher? Then they're going to never buy anything. So I think a lot of people are going to take a wait and see approach, and they're not going to drop an extra $500, $600, $700, $800, $1,200 on a product that they hope goes down if Trump decides to change his mind again and chicken out. What's going to happen with tariffs, and I listened to Scott Galloway and I listened to other economists, they really talk about we're going to end up at the same place we were before Trump threw a monkey wrench in and raised the tariffs. We're going to end up with the same reciprocal things that we had with China before. It's going to be the same exact number, but they're going to declare victory. But it's not a victory to get the same exact thing. Whatever. It's not about economy. If you want to listen to it, I listened to Scott Galloway, the Prof G podcast, and this girl, Kyla Scanlon. She's really freaking good. And yeah, so there's no saying what's going to happen with these prices. No one can guess what's going to happen, but it's higher prices because if they have to bring the products in, then they have to raise the prices. This is also going to be detrimental to new announcements. Companies might just hold their announcements and might just hold the product in China, in warehouses, or in Japan, because there's still tariffs on even Japan or everything coming into the country. And that might lead to not having new stuff announced and stuff being held. Not that we need new gear all the time, but that's just what might happen because the tariffs are so high, and they might take the risk and be like, you know what, let's not announce this new stuff. Or maybe they take a knock on the profit, or maybe they don't. Because I don't believe that companies should have to eat the tariffs. I don't want to eat, like we were worried about this with bringing my book into the country from Italy. Like, if I didn't get exempted because it's a printed material, I would have owed, let's say if it's 72, like 7, 10, 15, 20,000. If it's 25%, I could have owed $20,000. Like $16,000. Like, are you kidding me? That I can't afford that. I would lose all profit for the history of selling books. I would never make any money off of it. And you went a long way to just fuck yourself. It just reminds me of the Almost Famous quote, is like when they left the concert earlier and the what's his name? Jimmy Fallon character who plays a manager comes into them and is like, hey, you know that concert that you left after you got electrocuted? Yeah, you're getting sued. And so you basically went a long way to fuck yourself. He's like, I would have sued them and I would have gotten your money and you would have not been in debt, whatever. So it's just, you get the point. The moral of the story is this isn't good for anybody. I know some comments came in, and I said this earlier about, well, then we need to raise money because if we don't have money, we don't have a country. And it's like, well, of course, the way we raise money is through taxes, not this unnecessary tax on product coming in. But we don't also then go in and do a tax cut for the wealthiest, adding $2 to $4 trillion over 10-year period to the deficit. That's not how you do it. You have to either maintain taxes that you collect or collect more taxes from corporations that are paying low tax rates. When corporations are paying a lower tax rate than someone who makes $40,000 or minimum wage, and they pay a higher percentage of their salary to taxes compared to a massive conglomerate and corporation, that is disparity that should not be that way. Warren Buffett talked about this for a long time. To pay the fair share, he would have no problem doing that. Now, that's Warren Buffett. But if companies paid more taxes, and yeah, people, but that's going to raise the price of other things. But look, when there's such a disparity and there's employees that are making nothing, but the CEOs are making $200 million, it's like, yeah, it's a little over the top. Or there's profits of like $20 billion profit, and then all they do is pay out their wealth, pay out the board members. You should be paying taxes on that shit. Anyway, I got to move on. I'm going to go play with Big Bertha today. Steven will hopefully be back next week. I hope you enjoyed this. There's a lot of talking for me to do. Really not a lot. I do this all the time. But if you guys want to get book 2, go to fronosphoto.com/book2. You can get the audio book, you can get whatever, and you can purchase it there. But if you want to go to the boot camp, it's Saturday, August 16th, 2025 is the boot camp here in Philly. There are 16 spots of 18 remaining, low number, 18 people only. Just to keep it more intimate, go to bit.ly/frocamp816 to lock in your spot. Thank you guys very much for listening. Jared Polin, fronosphoto.com. See ya.